My best client nearly broke my business, not because they were difficult, not because they didn't pay, because I let them become the reason everything else worked. When they almost left, I realized exactly how fragile that made everything I'd built. Stay until the end, because what happened with that client exposed something about my business I'd never been willing to see. And once you see it in your own business, you can't unsee it. This one is uncomfortable, but it's necessary. This client started small, like any client, but the relationship was good, the results were strong, they expanded and expanded again. Within 2 years, they represented a number I'm not proud to admit out loud, more than half of my revenue. I told myself it was a success story, a client who trusted us enough to give us that much of their business. What I didn't see was that I had built an entire operation around serving one account well. Pricing decisions bent around their needs, team capacity planned around their volume, cash flow assumptions built on their renewal. I wasn't running a business anymore. I was running a very profitable dependency. If one client crosses your mind right now when I say what would happen if they left, subscribe right now. What I'm about to share is exactly the moment that crossed line became real for me, and what I built because of it. Then I got the call, not a dramatic one, just a quiet conversation. They were restructuring internally, considering bringing some work in-house. Nothing was decided, but the possibility was on the table. I remember exactly where I was standing, because in that moment I did the math I had been avoiding for 2 years. If they left, I would have to let go of half my team. I would miss payroll within 3 months. I would have to call clients I had deprioritized to ask for more work. I no longer had the capacity to deliver well. One phone call, one possibility, not even a confirmation. And I saw exactly how thin the foundation under my business actually was. They ended up staying that time, but I never forgot what those 10 minutes felt like. Watching everything I'd built balanced on one relationship. I spent the next year doing something I should have done from the start, diversifying revenue deliberately, not desperately, deliberately. I set a hard rule. No single client above 25% of revenue. I built a pipeline that didn't depend on referrals from that one account. I restructured the team so capacity wasn't built around one client's rhythm. It was slower than chasing more revenue from them would have been. It was less comfortable. But 18 months later, when a different client did leave, a smaller one this time, I didn't feel it. Not because I didn't care, because the business was built to absorb that kind of loss, not to be devastated by it. That's the difference infrastructure makes, not avoiding the hard moments, surviving them without everything collapsing. Here's the question I want you to answer honestly. What percentage of your revenue comes from your single biggest client? If you don't know the numbers, that's the first problem. If you know it and it's above 30%, that's the second. This isn't about loving your best client less. It's about building a business that doesn't quietly become a single point of failure wearing a good relationship as a disguise. The full framework is free at patricksystems.com. It includes exactly how to diversify without damaging the relationships that built you in the first place. patricksystems.com. And if a client just came to mind that you know represents too much, subscribe. One honest story every week about what almost broke and what we built instead. See you next week.